What's up guys? I've been getting a ton of questions from people asking me to show you a video demonstrating how I set the Kemper up. So finally I'm actually going to put this in a musical context for you. I think there's no better way than me actually performing something and telling you how I got the sounds for the actual piece. So what you're about to hear and see is a performance of a new track that I recorded on and perform with an artist that I work for. His name is Oscar Corney. I deeply urge you to check his stuff out. In the description below you'll find the new music video and all of his musical stuff. A few housekeeping rules please guys. If you really like the content I make, please like, subscribe and share it. I want this YouTube channel to be a good community and I want to engage with you guys as musical fans and guitar players. So without further ado, I hope you like the performance, and after that we'll get into some of the nitty-gritty about the parts and how I created the sounds on the Kemper. Enjoy.
Step up and make somebody notice you. Find another way to collide. You don't need to change your life with someone. Come get yourself on this ride. I need to feel safe, I won't get hurt. Just smile and let the sun shine. With all that I gave to you, and all that I have to lose, I keep asking why. Tell her that I just don't feel anymore. I can't find the love inside me. Maybe I won't go back anymore to being just another one of your time to start meeting better people. I won't impress you with a lie. Step out the crowd and make someone proud to be yours tonight. I need to feel safe, I won't get hurt. Just smile and let the sun shine. With all that I give to you, I know that I have to lose. I keep asking why. Tell her that I just don't feel anymore. I can't find the love inside of me. Maybe I won't go back anymore to being just another one of your fools. Is this you? Is this me? Time and time again we cause the biggest scene. It's the greatest time to let the good times roll. Just let it roll. Tell her that I just don't feel anymore. I can't find the love inside of me. Maybe I won't go back anymore to being just another one of your fools.
So this is how I set up the Kemper for that sound. I'm not sure how well it shows up guys, but you can see that I'm using the Cal Texan profile, one of my favourite profiles that is available from Michael Britt. It's a profile of a Mesa Boogie Lone Star and it's just got a compressor on right now, and this is how it sounds. There's a little bit of reverb and a little bit of delay. The delay has a little bit of modulation on it, but not too much. The compressor's there to help smooth out the sound. You can see my EQ settings are, generally this tends to be for when I set up a lot of gear. I like mids and I like treble. This telly is quite toppy, so not too much top end, but mids I like especially because I think it just goes really well with the guitar and particularly well with this Telecaster. So in that track you would have heard the first chord played will have been this. The delay that I set up was made to emulate the delay that's on the original track when we actually tracked it in the studio. Then, while you've got this part going on around the verse, my part that I play, this is when the settings on the Kemper change. I now engage what is a pure boost, which should just be essentially like a cleaner, more, not dirty, but just a nice clean boost to add a little bit of grit to the sound. Something that I really like, it's transparent, it's not really affected the tone of it because I've set the tone up to how I like it in the first place, and then it's completely controllable via my volume pot. Incredibly dynamic as well. So the part that you hear in the verses is like this. And the delay is there because the tail then repeats and goes off in between the spots where Oscar the artist isn't actually singing. So then what you hear before it gets to the chorus and the pre-chorus will be something like this. And again, I have control over how dirty it is or how much distortion you actually hear or grit. So if I turn my volume down halfway, you get. Or the other option being gritty. The reason there's delay on this sound and where the delay is most effective is particularly in the chorus. The chorus I was going for really kind of funky, this tune's really upbeat, it's something that Oscar wanted to release for the summer. So when it comes to the chorus, the part is like this. And this is something where the delay might sound like it's a bit over the top on its own, but in the mix, and especially in the mix of a band live when we perform, the delay, it just allows the part to pop out and soak really nicely into the rest of the mix. The only other major tonal variation is the end of the tune, which is where I engage again another pure boost, and that's at the solo at the end, just because on the actual record it's tracked with a Telecaster, and I think it's either a Vox Ice 9 sound, and it's not a really mid-humpy tube screamer sound. It's quite a transparent, clean overdrive sound. This one's set up, or the settings are set up so the volume's a little bit louder just to help push it into a solo tone. This is how it sounds. Again, it's an incredibly transparent sound, and it's very dynamic and responsive to the volume pot. It's also incredibly responsive to pickup change. So if I go to my neck pickup here, these are Texas special pickups. Nice and creamy, but gritty, almost a little bit like a fuzz. As I flick through the pickups, this is how it sounds. And then finally, the bridge pickup, all out. In the bridge section of the tune, this is where you get quite a tonal shift. But you get a nice tonal shift, and my thoughts here were, this is how the progression sounds in the bridge. So on top of that, my thought process for this came from a technique that I love doing in a lot of neo-soul contexts, which is to slightly mute with my right hand, and you get a really sparse kind of articulate attack kind of sound when you down pick. So while the bridge is going, you've got me on top playing an articulate kind of line like this. And I find having a bit of grit just allows it to kind of stand out a little bit more rather than using it clean like this. I tend to use it either on the front pickup or one of the 3 combinations towards the bridge pickup because it's a little bit brighter and it just gives you a bit of attack. Finally, at the end of that section, leading into the chorus again, we've got a build up that even when playing live, I allow the delay to do its thing as we all stop at the same time. So coming out of the bridge and going to the chorus, it sounds like this. Finally, the lead guitar solo tone at the end sounds like this.